Damn it, can you stop banging, please? Alright. Welcome back, Weather Kingdom. Alright. We getting everything set up here. One second. Oh, I didn't even realize. Sorry, everybody. Alright, let's get back in here. So, this is the latest satellite imagery that we are taking a look at. So, sorry about that, you guys. I didn't even realize. Promote chat. Project chat. Alright, just give me 1 second, you guys. Welcome back to the stream, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great day. I know it's late, but look, I couldn't go any faster. I really did try. And trust me. Alright, Alright, let's see. How are we doing here on this stream? Alright, 16 people. Welcome. Alright. Welcome back. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to fix some of this crap. I don't know what's going on. Alright, we got 7 people actually here. Alright. Will this be affecting the islands? That's a very good question. And that to be said is no. This storm will not be affecting the islands. In fact, when we take actually a look at the satellite imagery, if you're talking about the Bahamas is all the way off the charts over here. This storm is going to be generally going like this and out to sea. And also, this is an out to sea storm. There's a trough angle right in here rotating. So that's helping to guide our storm currently in this path. And then we got our cold front right here. So, and that being said, that is racing right over Bermuda, where technically our pattern, and then we have our Bermuda high up here. So what does that do is help guide our storm out to sea. So that's what's happening here, you guys. The path of this storm is out to sea regardless of whatever happens now. It's an out to sea storm. Like it or not, it is going nowhere near land. Let me know when you... Okay. Alright. Alright, welcome everybody. Just give me 1 second. We are getting everything set up here. I know we are late, but we're going to be talking about the tropics for a little bit. We have some tropics to go over. I get it. We have a lot too. We already got 14 people here. If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. If you are new, please like and subscribe, and also feel free to donate, as it will help a lot for the channel and future plans on this. Thank you. Is this the last storm of the season? What are your thoughts? Jason, it is not the last storm of the season. I believe there is going to be actually a few more bigger storms out there in the Atlantic. I do not think it's over. I think we're actually going to be talking about it's going to be pretty busy because when we take a look, I just want to take a quick look at the National Hurricane Center. Yeah, you guys believe it or not, this is our next wave here in the Atlantic is right in here. And this wave has been trending. I will not be surprised if we start seeing an upgrade in the future on this storm. Maybe even up to a 40%, honestly, in my opinion, as the models are really starting to pick up on the next wave in the Atlantic. And if Gabrielle has formed, that means the conditions are favorable, and it's going to be more favorable than it did with Gabrielle. But not just that. Believe it or not, there is even another potential third wave that the models are picking up coming off Africa. Not doing much over on this side, but once we get into this environment here, it just looks like the Atlantic is a bit more favorable in this box where Gabrielle is. And it looks like not just one. This is our Gabrielle. This could be our second and then potentially our third wave that could all form from the main development region. So that is pretty crazy that we are actually talking about main development region. Yes, Raji saw. We will be talking actually about the Westpac. We'll be on here for quite a while as we already got almost 30 people watching. If you guys are new, please feel free and subscribe as we are trying to warn everyone about the Atlantic. So we're going to be taking a look at Gabrielle, second wave, and then our third wave potentially. And then there's even signs of something in the Gulf of Mexico of at least I'm giving a 10%. I don't want to keep a big eye on it, but believe it or not, it looks like September could end with a bang and start out October with a bang. So will the Atlantic actually wake up, or is this just all a bust? I'm going to be honest with you. This could bust, but this is the second peak that we usually see. And in my opinion, I'm not too, I believe, what'd I do? What'd I do? I'm sorry about that, you guys. I just lost all my tabs. That's crazy. Let me go back into here. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I put T, not you. My bad. Alright, welcome. So, we do have a super chat. If you guys feel free also giving gifts, that'll be very greatly appreciate that. Will Gabrielle become a major hurricane? Also, will the Atlantic hurricane season be a bust or wake up? Alright, 1 second. I'm trying to start a goal for you guys to donate if you feel free. Huh. Yes, I will. No major U.S. landfall this year. Who wants to take a bet? I'm not going to take a bet, but... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me quickly... I need to go back in the satellite. So, we're also watching, believe it or not, a major, soon-to-be super typhoon, Rajasa. This is a absolute monster in the making. It truly is. We're also watching another monster out in the West Pacific. Let me see. I want to take a look at here. This is our next big talk, and it looks like Rajasa is trying to take it on here as we are getting closer to the islands. I need to figure out these islands. We will tonight, but look at this storm. Barreling like this, you guys. Really wrapping around with some deep thunderstorm convection. I need to figure out something quickly, if you guys do not mind. Just give me one moment. We're going to have to... Okay. I don't know why my super chats wouldn't be working. Can anyone donate on this channel? Does it? Oh. Hey, thank you, DST, with the $20 donation. Very greatly appreciate. Alright, so I guess it does work. Thank you. Very greatly appreciate DST for the $20 donation. Thank you very much. So, as you guys said, if you guys feel free to donate, feel free. Currently, I was actually going to start a goal. The goal is to get up to like 5 donations tonight. But for some reason, it is not working. Average name is 14, and we have 7 so far. Okay. Thank you. Very greatly appreciate that, man. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the $20 donation. Very greatly appreciate it. It's impossible. Rajasa will at least be 100. Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, this is... One thing we notice is this is clearing out slowly but surely with the eye. We're going to also look at that. Let's look. Wow, look at this. Yeah, Rajasa really clearing out the eye here, right in here. Deep thunderstorm convection just continues to wrap around here of the eye of the storm. Bro, you earned it. Thank you, man. Very greatly appreciate it. Hey, very greatly appreciate it. Also, we are talking about these islands out in here. And actually, I would love to look at Google Maps. Google Earth. We're going to actually look at those areas in the Atlantic. Don't set a donation. Go just kick. Hey, thank you, DSC. Hey, moderators, do not block that. He's allowed. Hey, he didn't really say. He just said, thank you, man. Very greatly appreciate that. I'm looking for Google Earth. What? Google Earth. Okay. I'm going to show you guys pretty... Yeah, hey, you ain't wrong. Unlock. No. What? This is Zoom Earth. I'm talking about Zoom Earth. My bad. Zoom Earth. Jordan Hall. Hey, what is up, man? Jordan Hall. Thank you. Very greatly appreciate the support. So, we're going to actually take a look in the West. So, Let's actually, oh, okay, this is, wow, okay. So these islands is the, oh, wow, look at that. You guys, we are going streaming tomorrow morning also. Yeah, we're going to have to. Wow. This is expected. Oh, wow. They're expecting this to become a super typhoon. A Category 5 hurricane. Look at that. We are currently at 140. So this is a Category 4 hurricane. And this is expected to be 150 here. I'm not even going to lie with you guys. This could be stronger. It's now expected to be a 160 on the latest cone here. That is not good at all. That's extremely bad. Raw just saw, wow. And then expected, probably with eye wall replacement. But a Category 5 right in these small islands. Even almost a landfall right here. Any little shift. Look at that. Landfall in these islands. This will bring devastating and impacts. Yep, those islands are screwed. Yeah. The Clayon Island. The Balingting Channel. I'm sorry if I pronounce these wrong. I'm trying to get Fuja Island. Some of these other ones are not named on this map. Bayon Claire will be impacted with the eye wall. Especially this Clayon and especially this little island here. I hope. No, I could definitely see 175 out of this. And then this should slowly still be almost a, yeah, 120 and actually make landfall. Even survive as a typhoon. And then, wow. Yeah, pretty crazy. Wow. That is bad. And then we're also watching another typhoon. This will be not impacting any land. But this one is actually supposed to become a super typhoon. It's actually currently in an eye wall replacement. Not doing too good right now. We are at a 145. This is also a Category 4 typhoon. A little bit ragged on the eye, but we'll have to wait and see. It's expected to strengthen a bit stronger in the next day or so before it starts to weaken here in the basin. And then we're looking at Invest 92W West. And this is with a very low chance. Nothing likely to form. The East Pacific actually has a 90% in the next 7 days. This will be Invest 9070. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll take a look at that. And then this is our next named storm. This will likely, where the core is, this will likely become a hurricane around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So expect this to become our next hurricane of the season. Yeah. I will let you talk about Sky Trevor in just a second. Yeah, the West Pacific's been getting all the action, and this becomes an 85. Does miss Bermuda by quite a bit, and then 100, 105. So this does become a Category 2 before it eventually starts weakening out there. But then we are watching our next wave also. This has a 20% in the next 7 days. So we're going to have to wait and see. And then, like I said, another wave coming off Africa. So we'll have to wait and see and watch that. Also, we're going to be having a special guest here. Earth Central. Alright. We are at 15 likes. Let's get up to 20 likes. Okay, 795. I don't understand. I believe we will. Okay. Yes. Alright, let's go back here. I'm going to get that set up on the outside. Sorry, you guys. Alright. This is Raja Saw. Alright, so let me hello?
Okay.
Alright, you're there. Welcome, Trevor. I know you've been talking in the chat about our West Pacific as we are really seeing the activity take off here. What's your thoughts?
That is correct.
I know you really are good at the West Pacific. You know a lot more than me with the islands. So I have the satellite imagery popped up here. And what would you say right now Raja is and what's going on with its structure and everything?
Well, it's currently through the last couple hours we've been realizing that when it originally had an eye, it had a tiny pinhole in there, but it then disappeared within a couple hours later through the eye wall replacement cycle, which didn't weaken at all. It continued to strengthen even through that eye wall replacement cycle, and it continued to strengthen up until the violent typhoon stage, which, keep in note, the super typhoon stage is also quote unquote the violent typhoon stage. So let's not get fooled with this. These islands that are owned by Philippines, they're gonna get ravaged with 290 mile per hour, 200 kilometers per hour in winds, and about 160 mile per hour winds, which is Category 5 status.
All right. So, what's your opinion on how strong can get? Because they are expecting a super typhoon with winds up to 160. As you know these islands' name, do you?
I don't.
I talked about it a little bit, but they're expecting 160 going right through the islands. So, if this was in the Atlantic, that would be a Category 5. And
yeah, Category 5.
that is crazy.
It's tie with Eric, or Aaron, actually. But its pressure might actually beat it.
Wow, the pressure's at 933 right now. Wow.
Its pressure, according to the I think the Japan Meteorological Agency says 910 is when it reaches that peak winds.
Okay. So I'm actually going to quickly take a look at some of the hurricane models on Rajasa. Okay, so in the next 6 hours is by 8. It already has a 925. That could be even right. We're kind of waiting on further information, but in the next 9 hours, we do see a little bit of weakening, probably not really weakening, but kind of withstanding its strength. But definitely tomorrow, it will rapidly strengthen and slam these islands as a catastrophic typhoon into a lot of these smaller islands. It will also bring impacts for Taiwan.
The real concern right now is Taiwan right now, or not Taiwan, but the Hong Kong area, because they have their own special warning polythene. When the typhoon I don't know what typhoon it was, but when it came through there, they issued a Significant 1 out of it, or T1. There's a very good chance that they're going to issue a T10 for this, due to how intense it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the winds here, man, and yeah. I mean, when this thing really starts going off, You're expecting wind gusts hitting these islands 185.5 knots. If we do that right now, 185.5 knots to miles an hour.
I got you. 185.1.
185.5.
0.5, you said?
So just do 180. It could go either way.
It's about 113 miles per hour, which is about 115.
115. You mean 215. You mean 215 mile an hour wind gust.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow! The HRF goes up even further to 195 knots.
So 195 is actually 225.
Wow, so the HRF is forecasting wind gusts in these islands 220 miles an hour potentially. That, might think you guys this might sound crazy, but
if that says 125 knots or 195 knots, that's gonna be more stronger than the traditional 260. Because if you do 225,
wow, the winds also sustained on it. Wow.
So if you do oh my god, my calculator is turning off. Here, the calculator, stop.
That is crazy strong.
Let's see.
Let's look at another hurricane model. The halves. The Rajasa. Okay, so yeah,
you're looking at 360 kilometers per hour if that happens in those islands. So very dangerous winds that can destroy a full entire building. That's more stronger than our strongest EF5 or F5 tornado.
Yeah.
Bridge Creek more.
Pretty crazy. When we're taking a look at the halves A, has it as a more like a 933, a little bit weakening over, pretty much actually right now where it's at, and then it definitely strengthens, but kind of actually withstands its strength on the halves, and it only drops it down to a 935 that I'm not going with because we're already below that. So.
And I saw you looking at the other typhoon, which is currently 145, expected to be a 150 typhoon, and it's quite interesting what it's doing, because it's supposed to be very short, Category 5.
Do you believe it will be?
After what I heard, it probably will be going through the eyewall replacement cycle. No.
When we're actually I'm actually popping up the satellite imagery. It looks like it's struggling a little bit.
Now, the recent invest that got detected today, it was previously 15 miles per hour, increased by 20 knots today. It is now 35. So we're dealing with some tropical storm winds going on, and apparently the JMA is undetecting it and haven't.
What are you talking about? We're at.
The one near. It's the one near not that far from the typhoon. That is.
An invest?
Yeah, it's invest 92W.
That is not gonna form. I don't think. I didn't see anything.
It has 35 knots. It has 35 miles per hour on it.
Yeah. Alright. So, I wanted to also take a look at Gabrielle here, as Gabrielle is doing Gabrielle things. We have seen quite a bit over the last few days with Gabrielle. And it looks like Gabrielle is actually a structure. Okay. By the way, we're 1 like away from 20. Let's hit that. Also, You can tell there's still dry air fighting in it currently with the storm. We can see deep thunderstorm convection trying to develop just to the east of the center. But the center is still struggling a little bit on the dry air. And it gets me wondering, will Gabrielle ever be able to fight it off completely? I mean, there is convection blowing up over the center. So, that's a different thing. Also, this tut here is dying off. So, we won't be seeing any more shear. So, it's going to be able to help the storm out a little bit more. Also, will Gabrielle even form into anything like... I think it will form into a hurricane, in my opinion. I think it's actually pretty close to it. The center of low pressure is right in that thunderstorms. Right in here, you guys, is where Gabrielle's center is. And you could tell where the dry air is on this side of the storm. Really been eating at it. Also some shear. That's not been helping it, but on the east side of the storm has been very beautiful, in my opinion. A lot of good outflow on this side. Honestly, that pretty impressive on that. But if this storm was completely symmetrical, this would easily be able to make it to major hurricane status. But I'm just wondering what will happen. Because when we take a look at the Mike's weather page, I want to just take a look at some of the charts right now currently. Looks like I'm looking at the
intensity models, see what they're saying about them.
I'm looking at the shear right now, and actually the shear has really died off. We're now only seeing about 10 to 15 mile an hour shear on this side of the storm. Besides that, there's a lot of outflow. This was a little bit late data, but right now it's getting into a better environment. I do think, according to the models, this should continue to get into a better environment tonight. So I do expect us waking up to a much even better look of a storm tomorrow. Even where Raja saw, I'm scared what I'm going to wake up to, because honestly, Raja saw is doing Raja saw things, right? Right? Would you say that, Trevor?
Yeah. So the intensity models are showing now Category 3 right now. They were showing Category 4 earlier this morning when I looked at them.
When I'm looking at this is 11 o'clock. It shows...
And
what?
I personally don't think... I don't think Gabrielle is going to go major. I think it's just going to be at 105 miles per hour.
It's currently... yeah, I agree. It's currently at a 65. It only needs 10 more miles an hour before the big hurricane H on it. The intensity generally into a strong Category 1 to a medium, mid Category 2. A few of them into Category 3. But, look, we have to wait and see. I kind of want to see how Gabrielle looks in the morning. Because that's a very big thing. And when we take a look at the shear, I want to just take a look at the shear and dry air and see... what does the model show? Does it show it really relaxing? Because that's a big question that I have. And honestly, the shear is not too bad on it. And it does actually get reinforced with the moisture pocket because of that cold front, that stationary front that's been sitting off the coast. So actually, it does have help with that. And then this is definitely the GFS. And then also the shear, actually, that tut kind of dies. And we get into a much better environment for this to strengthen even further. So there is signs that Gabrielle will strengthen into something bigger. It's just kind of wait and see. This is as of right now. This is by 2 in the morning. It does look like it will strengthen. And then throughout overnight, kind of withstanding its strength. Even tomorrow... and then probably tomorrow night, that's when it really wants to start popping off into a Category 2. Even some outer bands out ahead of it, just not too far. There. Also, If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. It would be nice to hit 800 subs tonight. That'd be very greatly appreciated. We are at 4 away. If we can hit 800 subs tonight, everybody, before 12 o'clock, I will be on here doing even more live coverage on the Westpac. Maybe even for another hour tonight. So let's hit 800 subs and we could do that. Also, you guys feel free of donating. That'd be very greatly appreciated. Also, thank you for that $20 donation. Very greatly appreciate it. Man, means a lot. A lot of it's going right into more on this channel and a lot going on in personal life that wouldn't mind helping in my situation, but being...
Can I take those of Invest 97E for a second?
Yes.
The models have it going Category 3 Strength.
Really?
And it being the next name system, which is, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's an N name.
Let me quickly take a look at this. Let me take a look at the hurricane models. Invest 97E. I was just talking about that in the beginning of the video. So this is the HERF. Oh yeah. Definitely okay. HERF really likes it to pop off. And wow, it definitely shows it into a major hurricane. So looks like the East Pacific could be waking up to some more activity. Once again, East Pacific, the West side, West Pacific just continues to load. Indian Ocean. Also,
Indian Ocean is starting to wake up after that 20% got issued by the the Climate Prediction Center.
Okay. East Pacific. 97E. Goes north. Okay. This is the, I'm not going to stay too much on the East Pacific on 97E because we got some bigger storms right now. But 97E on the Hammond model kind of shows, yeah, a strengthening hurricane, especially into Category 2. Even on the HAFS A. Sorry, it wasn't the Hammond. Hammond also shows a Category 2. That's probably as it goes a little bit more north. But we'll have to wait and see on that. And then the HAFS B goes into major, into like a Category 4. It is interesting. It does have it going over a few islands out in the East Pacific that I like to keep an eye out on. Because, you know, that's very big and concerning.
Yeah, again, those are uninhabited islands, and Earth Central has said that those are kind of volcano islands.
Okay. Also, we're 3 subs away, everybody. Let's do it in 9 minutes. 3 subs away from 800, and we're staying live until 1 in the morning. Let's do it, Weather Kingdom. Let's hit 800 subs tonight. Even go past it. That'll be awesome, you guys. Let's do it. So I want to take a quick look at Gabrielle, making sure no new convection's blowing up. Okay. That's interesting. So even though it's still fighting off that shear and stuff, there's definitely convection trying to wrap around that core as I'm seeing more and more convection on the southern side. And that's telling me right now is the shear's relaxing. And this is kind of starting to take in what it should. Because we're seeing a lot more convection on the southern side. That's really going to help the intake of this storm. So I do expect strengthening overnight into a hurricane with Gabrielle. That's my latest analysis. I also got a question on what's my thoughts on everything. Oh, stop yawning, get some coffee. I'm sorry about the yawning. I did not mean to. Yo, Weather Kingdom, we got conversion on the Gulf and Caribbean tag going on. What's your thoughts? We'll be talking about that in just a second. Just give me one moment, everybody. Let's do it, Weather Kingdom. All right, we're at 798 subs. You guys, we got 7 minutes. Let's do it. 2 subs away. Come on, 2 subs. We can do it. share this with your friends and family. We're 2 subs away from 800. That would be very greatly appreciated. That will be a milestone that we'll celebrate here right now on Weather Kingdoms.
Will we get a landfall storm, or what's some action? The only landfall storm that we should probably be taking notice of is the typhoon that is currently raging as a violent typhoon / super typhoon.
About to be.
It is expected to make landfall on China first before making another landfall on Vietnam.
Alright, so I know I got some questions about now the golf and stuff, and I know I wanted to talk about that a little bit. We're kind of jumping all over because we have a lot to actually talk about now, and some information. That's why I wasn't going to end the stream early, but I'm going to actually close it in here because I don't really want to go too far in. Oh, crap, I should have not done that. Why is my weather.nerds is like messed up? I don't know why it's... So, when we take a look at the European ensemble, see, I don't know why it's doing that.
Are they looking at models? Is that what they're looking at?
Alright.
When it comes to this activity in the Gulf?
Yeah, this is the European ensembles today. And we do see a few ensembles actually developing something, trying to develop something in the Bay of Campeche. I also indicate that on the Canadian model today. That's besides the Bahama talk and everything. That's another system that we are going to have to watch out for also. By the way, yep, we're 5 minutes away and we're 2 subs away. Let's do it, Weather Kingdom. We're 26 people here. Whoever is not subscribed. We only need 2 more subscribers and this party is going past midnight. Let's do it, everybody. I know we can. Like I said, this is the European. This is 12Z, this is 0Z, and there is a bit of an uptick in the 12Z runs on the ensembles. When we take a look at the GEFS, and we go 336 hours out, there's also a bit of ensembles as of the 0Z of last night. My bad. That was 0Z last night. So, let's go 6Z a little bit more, 12Z. Okay, 12Z even more. And then 18Z is a little bit less. But that's not our, this is that Bay of Campeche storm. That could be a little bit of a slider of a mess. Because the only model that really likes to show it, and I'm going to take it here, is Canadian has a piece of energy coming from the Central American Gyre, kind of, and part of a cold front, and kind of forms something in the Bay of Campeche and becomes a tropical storm and has chances of developing. It ain't the first time that the Canadian has done that, and it's pretty interesting. Also, the European, when we take a look at the 12Z, it doesn't see anything with development. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Alright, we're 3 minutes away, everybody, from 12 o'clock. Let's do it. 2 subs away. Let's do it. I know we can. The 12Z actually shows a piece of energy in actually the Bay of Campeche. When I look at vorticity, it does. It is stretched out, though, and it's right near land, but it actually catches my eye that we do see a bit of a wave that goes into the Gulf. That does show on the European ensembles, the GEFS ensembles, even though it's not a strong wave, even there is a wave that we're going to have to watch in the Bay of Campeche, because remember, that's a whole nother area that we have to watch and talk about. The GFS 18Z, let me just take a quick look. It shows a piece of energy. Once again, it does show around the same time frame as the other models. A little bit of a wave that goes into the Bay of Campeche. But the GFS is liking it to stay pretty close to land and then just making landfall and never getting its chances together. But it is pretty interesting that all models does show a wave at the minimum. So that is something that we're going to have to really watch out for. And also, when we take a look at the waters in the Bay of Campeche, once again, we are actually sitting with 30 to 31 degrees Celsius in the Bay of Campeche here. Boiling hot waters in the month of September. So just never take this for granted. We'll have to wait and see and watch this. What's your opinion on this, Trevor, by the way?
It's rather interesting what you're saying.
Because yeah.
Some models do show this, but some models usually don't. And I'm a little bit interested in what's gonna happen.
I mean, even a bit of the...
If I like to say quote unquote, it's an area to watch.
Yeah. The AI models kind of transform something more in the main development region forming instead of the Bay Campeche. It does have a few ensembles on one of the things, but then the GDM, also shows a few ensembles in the Bay Campeche. But there's been a new talk about are we really seeing that wave that the National Hurricane Center tagged right here, 20%? Could that become a problem down the road? I'm about to answer that just in a moment. All right, so it is 1 minute before 12 o'clock. Let's do it, Weather Kingdom. We're at 799. We're at 799. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. We're at 799 subs. We're 1 away from 800. Let's do it, Weather Kingdom. Let's actually go past even 800 tonight. We're trying to make it onto the leaderboards here tonight. Let's do it. Let's get past it. You guys are very supportive. It is midnight, and we got 30 people watching. So thank you, and very greatly appreciate that also. Canadian.
Okay, yeah.
Let's do it. We're 1 away, you guys. I know we can do it. We had 30 people watching. Let's do it. One of y'all ain't subscribing. I know it. But I'll give you guys a few minutes, all right? Let's keep talking about the tropics because this is a lot to take in. And I know we're going to have some questions in the next few minutes on this. So this is Gabrielle. Does become a hurricane and eventually even a Category 2 on the GFS. And then there it is, our wave. I'm going to like to keep an eye on it. I want to actually watch the GFS too. But look. This is Gabrielle. This is oh, come on. Really? Let's go a little bit back. Let's do this. This is number 1. This is our second wave we're watching. And this is our third. I want you to watch it. Because look what happens. It goes north of the islands. And my question is the environment better? We're going to take a look at that. Very strong wave. This wave kind of doesn't do too much. Kind of stays pretty weak behind it. But they do follow each other pretty close. And then eventually the GFS sees good conditions where Gabrielle kind of is. A little bit more west. And by 138 hours out, you guys, this is in 5 days actually. About 5 days. Because we are now on the 21st. So technically this is about 5 days from now. It wants to show a tropical storm near the Bahamas. And then it does go up these, kind of go up north and then actually get very close to the northeast as our next hurricane. I'm not putting my money on the 18Z, but there's been an uptick today because 12Z also had a wave doing the same thing and actually going right into the New England area as a potential tropical storm, even a hurricane. So it's been trending today, and it's something to keep an eye out in the Atlantic. Also the 6Z. It's been trending stronger and stronger, and I'm going to like to see what the 0Z shows tonight. Also, what is up? We got 20. Let's see it. Did we hit it, you guys? Yes, we did. We hit 800 subs. Thank you. Thank you to all of you guys. Weather Kingdom we have done it. Tonight we have 800 subs. That is very greatly appreciated. Our next goal is 850 subs. Let's do that. That's our next goal. So if you guys are new, please like and subscribe. Share this with your friends and family. We're going to be now covering it up to 1 o'clock. Okay? And I will be making a new deal with you guys here. If we can hit 810 subs by 1 in the morning, I'll stay on for another half an hour and stay on to 1:30 in the morning. That's the deal, because tomorrow I can sleep in, so I can take on a overnight stream if I have to really watch this with you guys. But the question is, who wants to stay up and watch? Because I don't want to be streaming and no one's watching, and we only have like 5 people here. But if you guys want, feel free to donate, like, subscribe. We're kind of chilling out here. Ah, someone unsubscribed. Really? We're at $7.99 again. Really? Come on. I know y'all playing that joke on me. I know you. Oh, we're back to 800. Okay. Are we? I hope we are. Yeah, we're back to 800. Okay. Don't be trolling me like that. Alright? But fans, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome people. Who wants me to stay? Hey, thank you, DST, for the $5 donation. You have sent 20... Wait, actually, that's a different guy. Is it? It is. No. Thank you, man. Very greatly appreciate that. The $5 donation. If anyone feels else to donate, that'll be very greatly appreciated. That's awesome, man. You guys are the best. You guys are all the best. Let me tell one of our moderators we are online here. I haven't seen him. Alright. Let's go track this. So, we're going to take a quick look at all the storms right now before we keep looking. So, Gabrielle continuing to produce the convection, doing its thing. I would like to see what happens in the next hour as we're going to be on. Let's look at Typhoon Rajasa. Let's look at the mesoscale. Okay. And oh no.
So, speaking about that typhoon,
Yeah.
it is currently going through an eyewall replacement cycle. The last, as I heard from a post from X from someone else, it is going through an eyewall replacement cycle, and it should strengthen a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean it is a bit of an eyewall replacement cycle, because I can see it. A newer inner eyewall is trying to develop on the last frames here. Right in here, you see that notch going into the center. But there is still... What's one worrying thing to me is... This is still likely strengthening or withstanding its strength. Because when we're looking at the mesoscale, look at this now new thing that I'm noticing on the satellite. We got a ring of pink trying to develop on all sides of this eye. Because if we can see a CDO with pink surrounding the storm like we did with Milton, and this becomes a smaller eye or whatever happens with this eye, this will strengthen further. And to me right now, this is already a monster.
So essentially, it's going to strengthen a little bit more further than what Aaron had. What it's believed to be probably 170 if it does. And the millibar pressure is going to go lower than 915 when I'm being told.
Alright. What's one thing I'm really watching is we're 60 hours out on the GFS. And one thing I noticed on the trend on the GFS is... Okay. So that's Bermuda. 1001. That's about reasonable. 998. Alright. It's a little bit more south. And it's been showing that for the last few runs. It's been trending a little bit closer to Bermuda. Not enough to bring anything major, but something maybe even a little slower, but it still becomes a category solid 2 hurricane. Could we see it strengthen a little faster? Yeah. Is it likely? I don't think so. Also, we're watching that next wave behind it. On the latest GFS, looks a little bit ragged out. It's not as dominant, but I would like to see what happens when it goes over the islands on that wave, because when we take a look at 200 millibar shear, there is a bit of it, but not over the islands. And also, the dry air is not even that bad with that wave, to be honest with you guys. When we're taking a look, there is currently dry air in that wave that we are talking about. But to be honest with you, the moisture actually gets better and the wave actually gets stronger. And as we get closer into this wave, to me, this wave is actually in much better conditions. Once it gets north of Puerto Rico and the islands, the conditions actually become favorable. So maybe that's why the models are upticking it, because kind of what Gabrielle is doing is Gabrielle is making the atmosphere a little bit more moist than fighting off all that dry air. Yes, there's going to be dry air to the north, but not as bad as Gabrielle had to go through. And 128 hours out, 120 hours out, it just skipped, you guys. There's a tropical storm once again on the 0Z run, and it's a beautiful storm, actually. There's beautiful cyclonic flow, just like with Gabrielle now, that's starting to develop. We got no shear on it. It's 1004 developing, going in the same spots. Also, there is no dry air in it. So, once again, another run on the GFS showing a tropical storm at least. And also, it's closer to the Bahamas. What's one worried thing is this storm will probably be, regardless, a little bit more west. Even if it goes out to sea, it's going to bring probably more impacts to the East Coast with waves, wind, waves more likely. But I'm going to like to watch the evolution of this new wave that's starting to catch my eye, because we're at the 0Z runs. We got 30 people still watching. That's crazy. Thank you guys for 800 subs. Very greatly appreciate it. Let's hit 810. Let's add a few more. Thank you. Thank you, Simpson. Very greatly appreciate. Welcome, welcome. Very thankful. Alright. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? We got 31. Anyone with any questions or concerns as of right now? Because I'm kind of going over the latest GFS that's coming out. What's your opinion on that, Trevor? If you don't mind.
Well, my opinion on it is it's... If the balls consist with it like they did with our Typhoon today, which I knew was going to be coming to Category 5, but that besides my... If our models consist in the Atlantic, I'll consider it.
Also, the latest Canadian also showing that wave, and it's showing it actually stronger on the latest Canadian. So, nighttime runs liking the Atlantic a little bit more. I'm not saying the Atlantic is finally going to open its eyes from slumber, but it's starting to sniff out if there's any prey and out ahead of it. So, someone to really watch, because do not let your guard down. This is we're almost in October, but it's not time to say, you know what, we're throwing in the towel, it's over. Also, Rajasa continues to develop that pink core. That's bad. That is bad, that pink core. I hate when I see that. Once you get that CDO that's pink, that wraps around, That is just ugly to see. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, what else can we look at is... I want to look at the lightning in this. Yeah, look at Rajasa. There's actually no lightning right now in the storm. So it's not rapidly strengthening right now because it's not... It's probably withstanding its strength, and it probably will be rapidly intensifying eventually again. Or I will continue with it. But we'll have to wait and see. Any lightning with Gabrielle? Oh, okay. There is lightning with Gabrielle. That's surprising. Especially on that.
It's probably bare minimum lightning.
It's quite a few, actually. It's quite a bit of, actually, lightning. But it's loaded on one side, and that's the more convectional side where it's developing. So, you know, very interesting stuff we're taking a look at. Let me quickly look at the chat. By the way, we hit 25 likes. If you guys feel free, let's get up to 30 now. That would be very greatly appreciated. I'm going to have to get a snack or soon or something because I haven't ate all day and I'm going to start feeling it soon. Up! I don't want to jump onto it, but I will. Yep. Looks like our next storm is becoming likely. Look at that, you guys. Latest GFS, 1,000 millibars at 132 hours out. Nearing the East Coast. Generally getting pushed. Let's look at the pattern steering flow. Oh, this goes out even further. Oh, no. Okay. That is interesting. This pattern reminds you of a northeast impact. We're at 138 hours out. And this is heading right for the northern coast of the East Coast. At least going to get close to it. Also continuing to form into a 998 millibars on September 26. Once again, 5 days out. Still showing it, and it's continuing. Last run and this run, both showing it. That is interesting, you guys. The GFS catching on to another piece of the Atlantic, and there's no dry air in this. The atmosphere is pretty good. I mean, the cyclonic flow is really well done here, too. We got some good breathing on this new potential wave that's now showing up on the models and Canadian. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm going to start keeping my eyes out behind Gabrielle because the Atlantic doesn't look like it's going to end with just nothing. Looks like it's going to end with at least something. Also, the Canadian develops it, but much, I would say, in a different scenario. It doesn't develop, it develops actually the third system. Because when we take let me look quickly. Yeah, the Canadian doesn't develop the GFS storm. It develops the third wave, actually. So this is the third wave. So if we see Gabrielle, I mean, it's already going to become a hurricane, but if we see the GFS being true in the ensembles of a potential our second storm, and then the Canadian showing our third storm, that's 3 storms before the end in the next 5 to 7 days. That will be a massive difference. And also, look at that, you guys. GFS 150 hours out showing a hurricane off the coast going north. So, something to keep an eye out. Let me look at the MLS precip. Alright, so, very interesting. Looks like this run will go out to sea most likely. We'll have to wait and see. The CAG system, look, I'm not going to say the CAG is gone, because what's going on is the main development region is a little bit, it's starting to wake up from its slumber, but it's waking up a bit late, in my opinion. Would you agree with that? Would you agree that the Atlantic is soon going to wake up?
Yes.
This is the latest GFS, you guys. This is the latest data, so I'm not giving you guys old data. I'm not even fully out. 120 out on the Canadian. The third system becomes a very strong tropical storm. Very interesting. Let's look at the satellite imagery, actually. Let's take a look at these two other areas. Alright, nothing too much. Alright. So they're believing that this wave, the GFS is believing that this wave right here, once it gets into this environment and Gabrielle moves out, this will likely pick up its convection and start to develop. I mean, if the wave survives, sure. I mean, it's still there. It's very visible. There's still a mid-level swirl. So, I'm not saying it's out of the realm, you guys. We expect this with Atlantic hurricane season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What the heck? Okay.
Thank you guys for 800 subs tonight. Very greatly appreciate that. You guys are awesome. By the way, we're only less than 300 watch time hours out. Also, we're 200 subs away from being completely monetized. And that'll be awesome and very greatly appreciate it. Look at this convection on Gabrielle starting to develop on the southern side. But I'm also starting to notice with the shear dying down, we're seeing a shallow convection developing where this hole is. So I'm wondering if we're going to see soon a blow up of convection on this side. Because once we have that, we're going to have two hot towers in the center of Gabrielle. And that could help it take off a little sooner than expected. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
We're looking at Nadia. Looks like the eye wall replacement continues, but that convection continues to wrap around very well of this wave. So, I want to take a look at some of the ensembles on the Bahama storm. So, let's go into 18Z. Let's kind of go into there. Let's go into 120. So, it definitely shows... Let's look. Six days out. Yeah, the GEFS ensembles does show our next wave now. It does show that second wave developing. I mean, it definitely tries, yeah. I mean, it's not like it's very compact, but there's definitely support growing on this new tropical wave that kind of came out all in just today, so. Crazy. 210 hours out. Yeah, it's not too much, but there's definitely ensemble support on it. This is 10 days out. There it is. It's not too much, but there is something, at least, because when you compare the 12Z and go back a few runs, 12Z also had it. 6Z had like one or two. 0Z of last night had nothing. So, just a little bit of a wake-up call, in my opinion. European ensembles. Let me look at this. 144 hours out. Actually, what's surprising is The European ensembles does not support that second wave that the GFS does, but it supports that third wave like the Canadian and follows the same track as Gabrielle and become another potential hurricane. So, in my opinion, right now, what I'm seeing on all data is watch if the GFS trends continue and watch if that wave does survive. Because if it does, that will likely be... Sorry, you guys. That will be our next potential area. But now it looks like the third area wants to develop. So 3 areas coming from the main development region at the end. I mean, everybody thought we were only going to end with one named storm. Looks like the Atlantic's going to try and wake up last minute. We're going to have to wait and see on that. Also, thank you guys for all your donations. Very greatly appreciate that. We're at 800 subs. Thank you. Thank you. If you guys feel free donating, that would be very greatly appreciated. When you guys take a look at the AI models, yeah. So what's interesting, and I actually believe the AI models, it does not, it shows Gabrielle, no duh. And I think the AI models have done great with Gabrielle. It actually was the first ones to actually pop it out. But it doesn't just show that third wave, but it shows that second wave. Like I was saying, this is the third wave that follows behind Gabrielle, but our second wave on the AI models go right into the Bahamas. I'm not saying that's going to be the likely outcome, but that was 12Z. I don't know if the 18Z does it. It does. Wait. Today's Saturday, right? I mean, yeah. Okay. So this is 12Z. This is 18Z. 18Z on the AI models also support that second wave. Developing once you get north of the islands. But that third wave on the 18Z really starting to pop out now. So it looks like we're likely going to get at least one more name before the end of September in the Atlantic. It's becoming a little bit more likely, in my opinion.
And we know it's going to be H name, clearly H name in the Atlantic. If you go back through analog history or go to Wikipedia or anything, it's always been a hurricane. So we put out the prediction that it will be a hurricane when it forms.
Yeah, it supports all 3 areas on the AI model. Supports the one in the Bahamas, but then that third wave, it goes ballistic. And it's very widespread, but it definitely shows a potential hurricane or more. I'm just going to end it off with that. A hurricane or more. Because nothing's guaranteed. And then the next 10 days, yeah, a lot of funky stuff happens. But then it also shows that it shows a gyre system, kind of. I don't know if that's part of... I'm going to have to see what happens there. I'm not going to buy that for now. But 312 hours out, and the Atlantic is going crazy with a gyre system, the Bahama system, the third wave. But also, it's showing I don't want to say it yet. I'm actually not going to say it yet. We're going to wait until I'm done with this part.
Here's what Tristan just said. He just mentioned you saying the second wave and another trough angle moment, as the system would not do the same as well in the Central Atlantic.
What do you mean not the same?
I don't know. You can ask him about that. Because he said that in your chat.
We'll have to wait and see, man. In my opinion. We'll have to wait. Thank you guys for 26 likes. Very greatly appreciate that. One of the other AI models doesn't really support... Let me look a little bit further. Yeah, it doesn't support that second wave on one of the AI models. But that third wave, once again, it really pops it off. And some of these go west into the Bahamas. I'm not too confident about that. But looking 10 days out, and you got a very wide spread on that third wave. But do you guys see that in the distance? Hints of another area in the main development region. Huh. I'm not saying that, but let's go back to here. Let's rerun this down. Let's look at the entire Atlantic here. So we go into 72 hours out. What's going on here? We only have... how did I lose my brain of thought? Holy crap. I just lost my brain. Gabrielle. Okay. I almost just lost it, you guys. Just for a bit. In the next 72 hours out, it does show Gabrielle. And then we go into, let's go 5 days out. 120 hours out. Shows a little bit of Gulf. It shows a little, not the Gulf, the Bahama storm, or just north of the islands. But it shows that third wave. 240 hours out. Yeah, look at that. Some signs of a fourth wave on the AI models. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is some signs that the main development region might be trying to kick out a few waves as we enter October. So, not guaranteed, but something to keep an eye out on.
And as you saw, that's what Tristan, I think, was trying to mention to you.
We got 30 people still watching at 12:30. You guys are awesome. Thank you, guys. Very greatly appreciate that. You guys are amazing. Oh, my goodness. Alright, what else we have to look at? The GDM. Yeah, also on that. A lot of the models supporting the Atlantic a little bit more. So I'm going to keep an eye out. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's go look at the GFS because we've been waiting on it. It's 192 hours out. Let's look at the evolution of the GFS so far. So, let's take a look. Gabrielle, yep, we know you become a Category 2. It likes that wave, that second wave to go up the East Coast and become its own hurricane. Oh, all right, I spoke too soon. The GFS also shows that third wave, but it has it developing in the same environment once it gets north of the islands. So what that tells me is the north of the islands have a bit more of a favorability as we get closer to the East Coast. 192 hours out. 192 hours out. Our wave that develops near the Bahamas is already in the North Atlantic moving out. That would already be an ending talk. So, is the GFS going to trend? Are we going to see this tomorrow? Are we going to actually see 3 storms really actually happen in the main development region? It's hard to believe after these time. The GFS does show that third wave, but not as strong. But it does show that wave with a cyclonic flow. Alright. Good, no wind shear. And actually no dry air. So I'm wondering if that's going to actually develop in the future minutes. Will this wave become something up the East Coast? Also, something new is the GFS has a little bit more activity in the Central American Gyre 204 hours out. A little bit more something. Yeah, look at that. This is our third wave right here. Near the Bahamas, 192 hours out. So, Canadian want. Oh my goodness, Canadian. It wants this storm. It wants the third wave to become a hurricane, a Category 2, going west, right towards the East Coast. That I'm not going to take in yet, because it doesn't show that second wave. I'm very interested if that second wave develops, but at least we know Gabrielle is our main focus. We're watching two other areas. Will they develop? We have to wait and see.
Oh, wow.
What?
What you said about the third wave?
What?
Um, what you said about that third wave? I'm surprised that's gonna come in.
Looks like, and then the Canadian likes a fourth wave in the main development region. I'm not gonna buy this all yet. Remember, I say this is like the first real day where all the models started jumping on the Atlantic. But, anything's possible. That's why we tell you never take the Atlantic for granted, because it takes one day of a switch and the Atlantic will go from.
And plus, another thing is never go on X and never post something that's so, how do you say it, so misclaimed, because a bunch of people have told a bunch of meteorologists, even my weather rated, what did it call it? My radar meteorologist told them that this is completely bogus right now. That you're completely misinformation them in August. So it's just interesting how that's happening. Like every year we get something and we get something completely bogus to the point where. And
Yeah.
check your chat, by the way.
In what?
Your chat.
Oh. Weather Kingdom. Can I join? Very interesting. Analyzing by the models and timing is interesting. Yeah, you can.
We can go to that VC if we can.
Yeah, go to the VC. I'll go there.
Trying to run stuff on my computer, so okay.
Hey, Trevor.
What's up?
Can you work on getting Tristan in the VC?
Yeah, I just told him in DMs.
Alright, thank you. Alright. We're going to be having a special guest here in just a second, another one. We're going to have our own Tristan of his analyzing, because he's been listening in, and thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. So we got some interesting data from.
Do you want to share your
GFS.
screen?
Yeah, I would love to. We got some interesting data from the GFS. I'm going to pull up 2 hurricane seasons real quick, which I find interesting at the same time and occurs also. So 1 second.
Yeah, just do that. I can get it going. Just give us 1 second, everybody. We're getting his own stream going. Don't show me this again.
So let's go here. There's multiple tabs, but there's only a few we should pay attention to.
All right, your screen is sharing. Just give it a second.
So, first of all, we do have Gabrielle. Now, here's what's interesting about Gabrielle. I don't know if anyone's talked about this. She tried to do a Delta move today, Weather Kingdom, and I'm going to explain it like this. Remember how Delta was rapidly intensifying and it had a pinhole core? The recon earlier today, before this happened, said she had a 6-mile wide pinhole eye, which means that it was very small. But because of the wind shear and dry air, it did a Delta 2020 move. It tried to rapidly intensify in not the best conditions, and some of the thunderstorms near the center has collapsed. That's what's making me think this will not have a chance of becoming a major, because now she needs this extra time. However, due to the jet and the jet maximum, I still expect a Category 2 hurricane, and this should produce more ACE than originally predicted. Its tropical transition may not occur until after the Azores. So let's look real quick. This is eye candy in the Pacific, and I really wonder the meteorological evolution of this typhoon as it goes to Taiwan to Japan. Excuse me, Taiwan, China. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Hey,
This is
Tristan,
amazing eye candy, though. Yes.
I'm gonna go quickly get something to eat. If you want to, just talk and give your analysis on everything, because I kind of went over everything. So if you want to give your analysis, go
Yes.
ahead. Very greatly appreciate
Okay.
it, man.
So we do have also this storm in the Central Pacific. Very beautiful storm. It looked. A lot of people were comparing this to a little bit of a Hurricane Dorian Pacific version, and the shape kind of resembles that a little bit. The only difference is that this is in a much higher latitude, so it's dealing with more harmful conditions. But the fact that this typhoon is sustaining is absolutely incredible. I want to show some interesting data from the GFS model because it's very interesting the timing of this. So let's go to Gabrielle. Of course, we know it's going to be a hurricane. The GFS shows this second system forming northeast of Puerto Rico. AI models have been trending this all day. I know recently I think they downtrended a little bit, but there is a system that is supposed to produce severe weather across Oklahoma. Why am I mentioning this? Well, because this system is the low that is going to be our front / maybe trough. And this system, if the GFS is right, 0-0 analysis, look at Gabrielle and look at this system. What's the similarity? That's an angle. That's an angle where a trough in the front can help a storm produce outflow without shearing it. It can be close enough to get the outflow in the direction of the shear, but it won't be sheared. And considering the GFS is on the upper latitudes, this is a Category 1 hurricane because of the way the pressure relationship works. So 986 is the Cat 1, maybe a little bit earlier might be a Cat 1 because the GFS does tend to downplay a little bit. So if this is right, this is theoretically a Category 1 hurricane, if it's right. But let's look at Cape Verde because there's something interesting that is happening here. Real quick, let's look at the date. What is the date? The 25th of September. Let's go to the Climate Prediction Center. As we can see right here, September 24th to 30th, we have another area of development that is over here.
Okay, I'm back now.
That is the third wave development that the AI is trending. So the AI has actually been really good, but let's look at another date. October 1st to 7th, we got an MDR, and we have a little bit of a gyre. Now, what is this area near Mexico, you may be asking? Let's watch the severe weather front in Oklahoma into the Gulf of Mexico. What is the date? September 27th? There's a frontal boundary right here. And what are the formations for tropical cyclones is stalled frontal boundaries. So even though it's only a 20%, the Climate Prediction Center may have highlighted a really good area during this time frame because of one of the mechanisms of tropical cyclone development. Let's look at 2021 hurricane season real quick. I want you to notice something. Look at the week Cape Verde until Sam. 2024. Cape Verde was mostly, we ignored Beryl. That was too early. We're talking about this timing in the season. We had Kirk and Leslie, right? You may be wondering, why are we showing this? Climate Prediction Center shows October 1st to 7th. Look what we have a little bit earlier. Look at the two big moisture plumes of tropical wave. Even though this is only the GFS, and I want to see if the other models keep trending this over time. The GFS, the new website, by the way, if you want to go to the website, it's cyclonewx.com.
Cyclonewx.
Yep. Look at the tropical waves. A lot of moisture and very good, right? And also look at this third wave. It has another angle because the GFS, even though it's just more far out. It's a little bit more fantasy land. But let's assume it's right. Let's just pretend. We're not saying it's right, we're pretending. That's another angle for outflow. You got storm spinning up right here, some outflow coming in, helping outflow from right here, mini high, you got upper level low right here. This might be a bit weaker though due to shear quickly coming in from that particular system. When we notice on the Climate Prediction Center versus the GFS, it's the same timing, which is very odd that the models keep trending towards the Climate Prediction Center in terms of climatological. And we can see here, look, there's a little bit more moisture right here too, with a small wind shift. Do we see that at 210 hours? What did we highlight here? This area, what is the GFS showing? Something no one's talking about. There's a small spin right here. That doesn't mean it's going to form. I'm just saying there is a small spin. So that is exactly what the Climate Prediction Center is doing too, which is amazing to think about how much the Climate Prediction Center and the models have been copying each other. Remember though, like Invest 91L, just because the Climate Prediction Center points something out to you, that doesn't mean it's going to 100% develop. It's just the area to watch, like climatology combined with the model trends and the surface analysis that's going on over time. So I just wanted to explain that real quick because I heard Weather Kingdom, but I really wanted to get my thoughts on this because there's a lot of spots I don't know if y'all talked about. You got the second wave, which GFS wants to trend. You got a wave, and then you got a wave here. You got a spin over here, and then you got a very, if the GFS is right, a very beautiful tropical wave. That's an ace maker wave if that verifies, especially if it could especially if it's like an Aaron wave or the Gabrielle wave, which is very strong. That doesn't mean it's going to form or happen. We're just saying everything that the Climate Prediction Center has been saying has been happening, but that does not mean the system will develop. For example, that wave that the NHC, we're going to get this up real quick, the NHC wants to happen, which is right here, 20%, might be a 30%, considering the trends going on here. That is your wave. Cape Verde Islands. About here, is supported by a little bit of monsoon trough, even though the monsoon trough is sort of split off. So, yes, we are seeing the surface analysis versus everything. So, just because something may not develop doesn't mean you should not keep paying attention, because even though we haven't had the best development, a lot of the climatology is coming together perfectly, which is why I say, respectfully, we need to keep watching these, because you never know. This season could be quiet, and it's suddenly out of nowhere, we have something really bad happen. Again, people were trying to compare the pattern. Earlier today, I had to talk with some people. To 2018. What did 2018 do? A gyre system ended up hitting Florida. Not going to happen? You don't know if it's going to happen. That is just the observation. So we need to be very careful what we communicate to people. Am I saying this is all going to happen perfectly? No. What I'm saying is that the Atlantic can change its character very quickly. So just because you don't see development now in the area's climatology, that doesn't mean it can happen in the future. And we need to consider something else. The average names for an Atlantic hurricane season is 14 named storms. We've had 7. We are halfway there, and there's multiple development sequences that we need to consider. A frontal boundary, subtropical later in the month, gyre/Caribbean, which is definitely possible in October and November, because especially in November, if a low riding wave that is strong enough is able to come into this Caribbean, this might be a fuel for a surprise hurricane, because La Nina will take effect in the Atlantic in November. But we just don't know how far this front will go to the south. But La Nina should take full effect in the Atlantic between mid-October and the beginning of November. I want to take a look at this real quick and see we have been completely below this in August. So that tells me that likely, even though it did a nice phase right here, which is why I'm thinking what's going to happen is we're going to have a brief phase where there's a little bit of La Nina conditions, September to October, and then the real La Nina conditions will go into November because the Atlantic takes time for the atmosphere to change. We'll get a brief La Nina-like spell September coming up in a few days to early October, maybe mid-October, depending, and then the real La Nina should begin around November. November is famous for, and let's go, is there another season we can compare? 2022, right? We said 2022. We were talking about this. Even though Cape Verde mostly did horrible, a lot of our storms that formed in the southwestern Atlantic.
What about 1999?
1999 is a good question, and
I was talking about that a few days ago.
1999 was a peak. It was a classic peak, but you did have a little bit of sneaky stuff in October and November. What this is, but look at November, subtropics. We talk about a lot. Look how many storms happened even when Cape Verde mostly failed. Look at that.
When was that, in 2022?
It was a pretty active 2022, yes. So what we're saying is that with La Nina coming in either mid-October or November, we're going to have a La Nina spell coming up in the next likely few days. Because if we look at the chart, what did Pat say? Atmosphere reacts with time. This would be our first little sneak peek at La Nina. It wouldn't be one yet, but look at the temperature drop. Look at that. So that would reflect right here. And then La Nina, because it started, let's see this. The real start right here, August 9th, what is it? It would happen likely in late October to November. And Weather Kingdom, we've seen this. Low riding waves going to the Caribbean and giving us a surprise.
Yes, very true.
And late La Nina type years. And credit David for also telling me some of this information. The zone over Africa is pretty more north than normal, and that could mean that weaker tropical waves don't develop as much. But there's a trade-off, Weather Kingdom. The subtropics are more active, but the Bermuda High is less active. What is 2022? There's a great correlation between
It is,
all of
actually,
these.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's going to happen. We're just telling you the clues we're giving you. That
What's another
what
good
might
year?
happen. 2022, 2018, I honestly think are pretty good years.
What about, is that
I do
2018?
2021.
Oh.
I do 2021 because of a late Cape Verde, which if you look at the GFS model and compare it to the Climate Prediction Center Weather Kingdom, we'll have to watch this, but look at that. Look at that beauty. That is exactly what this shows. This versus this. It's amazing how things come together, right? And then vorticity? Oh, yeah. That's it.
Yeah?
If this verifies, that's our ace maker. If the Atlantic is good at that point. If the Atlantic is good.
That has
And I
many
figured out-
dependabilities on that.
Yeah, but it's amazing Weather Kingdom. Weather Kingdom, you didn't talk about the Gulf of Mexico. I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
Did y'all? I'm sorry. I was busy a little bit here. Did you see that spin that the Climate Prediction Center says when that front comes in from the severe weather of Oklahoma? Right here.
Yeah.
Climate Prediction Center. Boom.
Nailed
this
it.
lawyer right here. So we're just saying watch the trends. We're not saying it's going to happen.
Can you take the GFS all the way out? Does it develop anything?
I'm just curious. Does it?
Nah.
If that verifies.
Oh my.
Wait, Gyre? Hello? Ooh, what is this over here? This is far out, so we're just curious. We're being curious-minded. We're not telling it's going to exactly happen. That's beautiful. That's the start of some energy right there. So I'm very curious to see what happens. Weather Kingdom, the Climate Prediction Center, all these spots being highlighted by the GFS and some of the AI models. They're all.
Can you look at the Canadian?
Sure.
I just realized something.
There's no Canadian here, unfortunately. I would have to go to Tropic Tidbits for that.
So, Tristan, I just realized something. Go back to that a second.
Oh, give me a second. Yep, we'll do that.
So I just realized something. Do you see that hurricane in the East Pack?
What?
Oh yeah. Oh, so that's so.
So it goes up to Mexico and go up to the United States. Do you think that's gonna cause problems?
It depends. It's too far out to know. Does the Climate Prediction Center have that? Doesn't it? Yeah. So it's just so interesting how much the Climate Prediction Center has nailed all these areas. Even Invest 91L wasn't a bust technically, because the Climate Prediction Center did put a 20% out for that area. I'm surprised the NHC did 90, by the way.
Can we
But the Climate Prediction Center did highlight it.
Can
Right
you
before it got
show
developed.
the Canadian?
Canadian model, yes, I will gladly. Let me see, Canadian, CMC.
Go all the way out.
Let's go to the Atlantic. I like using, is there any moisture? There's no moisture. I'm sad. But, I really think that second wave will have a better chance of what the
I
models say.
agree. I agree.
But this one right here is...
Whoa!
The Canadian does the same thing. Beauty.
Yeah?
Right there. What's the date? October. Climate Prediction Center date?
Yup.
It just fits together, doesn't it? Like a puzzle piece.
Oh.
That doesn't mean it's going to happen, but...
The signs continue, you guys, that after all the Atlantic, and look at the gyre, look at the Yucatan.
Does it show a small spin like the GFS shows?
Where?
Not the... kinda.
A little.
Spin right there, not 100%. Right here, there's a small little...
What else models can we look at? The AI model.
I don't have access to that.
Yes, you do. No. The European AI on tropical tibbets.
Okay.
APHIS.
Right?
Yup, that's what it is.
Alright, so let's look out here. That second wave by the Euro. Is that the second? Okay, hold on. One. I really think this one has a better chance of what this is saying. I think it just needs more time. If it's not, then the third wave will likely...
Yup.
Okay, then. What about the Climate Prediction Center forecast? It shows a wave. It does. But it doesn't develop it as much. That's okay, though. That's interesting, though, that they're all at least trending the big wave. That's a good clue. That is a good clue, though, Weather Kingdom. Not all of it developed, but they trend the big wave that we see around the October mark.
Okay.
They do trend it. So, that the models are going to go back and forth because of the way... And this is far out, too. So I'm not 100%. GFS even kind of tries to... Oh, that's a low right there. This is a better GFS. What am I doing? Guys, I've turned into an idiot. Help me. But all seriousness. It kind of gets itself together. Subtropical nature a little bit up here. We'll find out. Got this frontal. What about this? Oh, that's actually moisture up here. I wonder if that's going to be severe weather problems. After that cyclone makes landfall, it might fuel something. I'm curious on the future evolution of the Atlantic. Because on the one hand, this feels like one of those years where it feels like a little bit of a...
Too quiet.
Weather Kingdom, how do I say it? A little bit more version of 1992 in terms of strength. But in terms of numbers, it feels like a... 2022.
I agree.
And a lot of people are saying the Atlantic season is over. You know, subtropics can happen, frontals can happen. All it takes is we keep saying this. We technically already had our one system, which was Barry. Yes, Barry was ugly, but then the MCS caused so much flooding over there.
Was Barry this year? No.
Yeah, but
Barry wasn't this year.
Barry was this year, yes.
Really?
That was the MCS complex that caused the flooding in Texas. That was the big Texas floods. That was the
National Weather Service to...
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was the mid-level center of Barry that turned into an MCS.
Yeah, Barry was this year. I just went back to look at the hurricane list. Also,
hello, Mia. So, Yeah, so the Climate Prediction Center, a lot of these areas are being noticed by the models and the Climate Prediction Center. We will see if them trend, but it's a very good thing that they're both correlating so far. That's a really good thing. That tells us that we have the right eyes on the prize. We just have to see. We will have to see. But I do agree with people in the comments. I feel like this season should be quiet because last year was horrible. 2006 of the 2005 is what I call this year so far.
And people are saying that 2026, this next year's season might be a little bit inactive, like not that active. Honestly, I would not agree with that.
You never know. Every Atlantic is different.
We actually don't know what our season average was gonna be because those don't come out from NOAA until about May.
You know what's crazy though? I think the Atlantic has a chance of being average if the subtropics activate. That's a big question.
We occasionally don't know. When it comes to CSU, we're not gonna know until April. So
yeah.
We have to look at the Wikipedia and see what they're saying. Like,
Wikipedia is an iffy source, though.
They put out what our average is gonna be.
All right, Tristan.
And my comfort zone, by the way, for people, I just wanted to show the Climate Prediction Center trends, but my comfort zone is only 168 hours for people that know me. I don't like going beyond this.
I agree.
But I just wanted to match the Climate Prediction Center predictions for some noticeable trends, and we'll see what happens.
Are you done yet?
I'm done.
All right. So I'm going to be closing out the stream here because it's 1 a.m. So I'm going to take it back to my end. And I'm kind of... Yes, Mia?
So, Tristan, I have a question, right? So, the season is currently...
This season is basically going to be one of those seasons where something may not happen, but our biggest concern is going to be most likely a Caribbean gyre storm or a storm that develops from a frontal boundary in the Gulf of Mexico. Those would be your two.
That's what leads to my question. Do you think we could have a late season, like late October to like Thanksgiving time frame tropical system? Or do you think...
Yes, I think that if you're are you counting subtropics or just Caribbean?
I guess.
La Nina does occur that year. If a low riding wave is able to take advantage, then potentially yes. The subtropics, especially with the way the ICITZ, I think that's what it's called, I might be wrong there, over Africa, can support more subtropical development when the Bermuda High is gone, based off of the research I did. We could have 1 or 2 subtropical names also during October and November, depending on the Bermuda High position and the advantages of the frontal system.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions, you guys, before I close out Discord and kind of wrap it up here?
No, sir.
All right. Also, I'm noticing a fall type pattern in the northeast as we're getting into, like, look at that. Ooh, some below freezing temperatures at night. Very cool.
I think that.
Keep this in mind. This hour, we're supposed to get our next tropical outlook for both East Pac and Atlantic. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see what happens on my end as well.
I do see a 30% chance because the wave has been trending a lot lately, even if some of the models have become a little iffy now. I can see the NHC staying 20% or going 30%.
I can see 30.
I'm not going to shoot all the way up yet.
Yeah, I agree. All right, thank you. If you guys want to say bye to the fans, feel free to.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Yeah, bye, everyone. Have a very good night.
All right, so let's finish it up here on the stream. So basically, when we're taking a look at it, by the way, shout out to Tristan, shout out to Mia, shout out to Trevor, shout out to everyone in the chat, shout out to D for everyone donating, and also if you guys feel free donating again, feel free. But when we take a look at the mesoscale of Rajasa, it is a major typhoon that is in current of form, getting a little bit better of an eye. This is getting a metal ring around it, really doing very well. This is likely going to become a major Category 5 typhoon with winds up to at least 160 mile an hour winds. And when we take a look at the GFS, let's go in the East Pacific. Let's see if things have strengthened or whatever. So, yeah, a little bit stronger on the latest GFS. And, yeah, it looks like we will be back to rapid intensification as this will make landfall on the islands here. And make even landfall as a major hurricane into China and some of the southern areas. And then this is the leftover of this system, likely to strengthen a little bit with the trough angle and then to kind of weaken out. So that's the latest on the Westpac. Now when we're taking a look at Tropic Storm Gabrielle, doing its own thing, kind of just needs more convection, still a little bit. Looks like to me some more convection is trying to explode on the southern and northern side. I will likely see this become a much better storm tomorrow. We will have recon tomorrow morning. So once we have recon, I'm probably going to go live again. So expect a live stream tomorrow morning, or I'm going to do a video tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind and post it. But being that said, we have kind of covered everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for donating. See you guys in the next stream. Let me just make sure there's no more questions.